Material, fuck you. That was awesome.
Thanks, sorry. But you were going there with that, right? With the bubblegum scene?
You connected the dots, yes.
Yeah, so we were going to do that. And at the last minute, I asked David, I said, hey man, I got this other thing. I think it'd make more sense. And Andy and I, we do a podcast called Edumacation on my network, smodcast.com. And it's predicated on the fact that Andy's the smartest person I know, and he's the person I stole most of my. I don't know a lot of kids. He's the person I stole most of my faux erudition, my borrowed erudition from. So, he'll say shit to me did you know how octopuses get pregnant? One arm will break off, and that is the delivery system of the seminal fluid. It's crazy.
There's a certain species where the arm, if the male can't catch the female, the arm has its own sort of brain in it, and it's full of sperm, and it breaks off and swims after her, impregnates her, and stays in the female for the rest of her life.
Do you know what kind of amazing currency that is at a party?
That's amazing.
You're just standing around and you're like, octopuses fuck. You're the most interesting guy in the room.
That's awesome.
So he was that guy that would always tell me smart things, and I'd pass it off, and people were like, you're so smart. And so the podcast, the idea was let me introduce you to my real brain. This is Andy McAlfers. So on the podcast, one episode, quite like we had on episode of Smodcast, another podcast I do, we started building this movie that we wrote, and it was called Comes the Krampus, and it was based on the Krampus character from. It was like
There's a Krampus person back there.
Totally. It was a minute before Krampus broke. At least in the U.S., it's worldwide, but before it broke into the national consciousness in the U.S. And so it was an anthology film, very much like Creepshow, and the Krampus character, we didn't really follow the strict rules of what Krampus is, but it was just kind of a boogeyman in our story. So we were steamrolling toward production, and then Yoga Hosers happened instead. So Krampus went back a place, and we were after Yoga Hosers, maybe we get to Krampus. And then they made a real Krampus movie with real legit money. We were going to make our Krampus movie for $3 million or something like that. So they made one for $25 million. And at that point, we're well, you win. Yeah. This ain't going to be competing asteroid movies or volcano movies. Oh my God, you guys win 1,000 ways of it. So it was one of those things where you're it just goes on a shelf and never gets done. But it's tough when you're a creative. You just want it's manufactured for use. You can't just write something and have it sit in a desk drawer. It's that's what got you here in the first place. When you're creative, you're one of those people that just feels that everybody needs to know what's on your mind at all times, and if they don't, what a fucking waste of your thoughts. So if you write something, it doesn't get produced. That's the agony, the first world agony. So suddenly I was hey man, it's an anthology, the movie. It was just made up of little stories. I was let's do one of those stories at Sarasota. Instead of shooting this other fucking thing, we'll shoot this short film. We'll just take a whole section and we'll change it from Krampus. It doesn't have to be Krampus. Really, our guy wasn't that Krampusy and stuff.
The other thing was we can use the Krampus to tell those morality plays that we love to do. Yeah. And then we're oh, we can't make that. But we could use Kilroy to tell those morality plays that we want to do.
Awesome.
So.
That was the idea. It was nobody had done Kilroy. I looked online and I was there must be a Kilroy. It was here a movie. And Styx, of course, did an album. But there's no movie. I assumed there'd be 10 horror movies. So I was oh my God. I said, let's just fucking change it. It's no longer Krampus, it's Kilroy and stuff. And we'll come up with a cooler backstory. It will no longer be based in, Eastern European mythology. That's where the Krampus came from.
Or north, or the Netherlands and the, I don't have nows, I'm tired. We're on 18-hour days.
Not American. Yeah. And so we kind of came up with our own backstory and then sent the chapter to David and he went for it. So we came here to shoot. 2 days into it, they told us that we can keep going forward. So we're going to come back in November. Is that it? Or after Thanksgiving? December. So right after the Thanksgiving break and shoot the other 3 sequences of the flip. So it's worked out great. Shooting here is amazing because it's everything's art directed within an inch of its life. You would pay a motherfucker to make things look this good. Yeah. We were out on a road the other night, this abandoned road in Benderson. This is a nice park and shit. But as we set it up movie world, it's meant to be the middle of nowhere or something like that. And the entire both sides of the road, no matter where you turn the camera, it was gorgeous. You got banyan trees, you got that shit hanging, you got palms everywhere. It just looks fantastic. And you throw some lights on that at night and throw some atmosphere. So honestly, you would go to the back lot of Universal and be like, bring in the palm trees and create something that looks naturally like this. So
Yeah,
it lends
your jungle.
itself.
We have a lot of stuff in the thing where the backstory takes place in the jungle, and we're like, we're in the jungle.
Yeah, that's right. On the road the other night, we were like,
There's a Circle K only 2
clearly
miles away.
this is Vietnam, even though that's a Publix.
Yeah.
So, and then that's been the beautiful thing about shooting down here for the last week is now we can kind of go back into the script and reconceive for specific locations and stuff like that. And it's kind of cool. Like we're not going like this is anywhere USA. We're like this is Sarasota. We're trying to bill our guy as a Sarasota like urban legend or suburban legend.
Using Sarasota. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, why not? It's like it'd be weird to be like Los Angeles,
Yeah.
disingenuous. And it's also like nobody
He's
knows
a murderous
shit.
swamp creature, just so you know.
It's
not
true.
like
It does, and it helps.
you're gonna put him on the
it's-
posters or anything.
Well, but still, anybody like Michael Myers was what, Illinois?
Yeah.
I bet you they're proud of having Michael Myers.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, in a weird way. You gotta be.
And there's not like it's not everyone knows about Los Angeles. They cover it to fucking death, but it's like Sarasota's like virgin country. It's not like they've done it to death in movies and shit where people are like, oh, Sarasota, we know that. So I don't know. It was all upside. It all felt like kind of perfect blend and marriage. And as we hit our day 5, our final day, it's been bliss. It went so incredibly well. We made all our days. The rain stayed away because we were outside at night
That
a
was
lot.
I did that.
Good job.
Good producing will keep the rain away.
Can you keep it away tonight for Friday Fest?
That's what we're hoping.
You guys are heading up to Pinellas now, right after this?
Yes, we are.
We go to St. Petersburg. Is that
Yes,
what it is?
to,
In Pinellas County.
Clear-
Is that why you guys identify
Yes.
things by
Pinellas
county here?
No, it's just easier
St. Pete.
sometimes. Yeah, St. Pete. Yeah,
The bridges of Pinellas County.
Yeah, I love
And the
that
bridges,
place.
oh, it's so romantic.
But yeah, we're heading out there. We finish up and shoot at this house that's got a lanai that looks out on the water or something like that. Beautiful locations here. That's the thing. It's like the original version, the Krampus, was set in like Germantown in the snow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's
So now it's just like
Yeah.
it's the Miami Vice version of Krampus. Everything's so lush and gorgeous.
It's nice to search and replace gray with blue.
It's like in the
Skies.
sequence that we're shooting, it opened at a Christmas party and stuff. Everybody in sweaters on a porch. And now it's like we're opening up with like sarongs and bikinis and everyone with drinks in a hot tub and shit.
Much more fun. We're gonna set a timeline.
Yeah.
Anyone have anything else? Because we are
Jimmy,
going.
you have-
Yeah, sorry, I tend to ramble.
I was just going to ask then, can you talk a little bit about, for this script and also the Krampus, what kind of your inspiration, Creepshow and Twilight Zone, I know you said were big
Very much
influences.
so. What else? I was a big Tales from the Dark Side fan, but those were half-hour long segments. But every kind of horror anthology. There was a movie I saw in the '80s that I loved called Nightmares. Didn't have a huge audience. Tales from the Crypt was. Yeah, he was too much for me.
Yeah.
Like my horror more subtle now. Said the guy that made the fucking wall.
And his puns a little bit.
Yeah, his puns could have been better. But I think most of our stuff is very. It feels like Creepshow to me. That was kind of our model. But it borrows from a lot of like '80s horror movie. Like the Kilroy, our guy, looks like a cross between like Michael Myers and Jason Voorhees. And he's got Bob Kurtzman, who's co-founded the K&B Effects Group, and he's done a zillion movies, including like Marky Mark's Dick and Boogie Nights. Like he's got it's a long. I pull that one because it's amazing. Somebody had to make that dick. But so he's been in the effects game for a long, long time. He built our walrus on Tusk. He built the Kilroy face.
He did the Bratzies.
He did the Bratzies and Yogos as well. But he built the Kilroy face, and based on the character's back histories, he gets like all fucked up and burned in the swamp. So he's got a lot of like swampy elements to him and stuff. But ultimately, he's Kilroy. So the idea was like we got to do a nod to the nose in some way because that's what if anyone knows Kilroy, it's that little drawing. So the first version of the mask he sends us looks like he's trying to do Boogie Nights too.
No,
Fucking, oh my God, it's like down to the ground. And I was like, Bob, I'm gonna get tagged either way. With people assuming I'm trying to make a dick joke, I said, please circumcise.
He was lucky he could suck his own nose.
He could.
Yeah.
So he lopped it in half, and it's very bulbous. It's very Jimmy. Now it's kind of like if Jimmy Durante's face melted. Yeah, and so it kind of works. And so he's done. We shot Justin, who played our Kilroy character, but it looks chilling, but it's also a
Would that be
little
funny?
goofy. Yeah, like at the same time, it reminds me of Tuscan that way, where you're like, I don't know how to feel. Like, I should feel chilled, but I feel this is stupid.
Yeah.
It's a lot of that. That movie just like tonally keeps you off balance to the point where it enrages some, and some people are like, oh, it's my jam. This is a little more conventional, but his mask is definitely like uncanny valley, because you're like, I don't know how to react. What is that? But
Well, he's like, you're looking at my nose, aren't you?
Yeah.
So I'm looking at my nose. My eyes are up here.
Yeah.
Actually, they're not.
Yeah, they moved away. We took his eyes out. It's kind of cool. And so Andy can fuck around with special effects. He made me a little Bratzi and yoga hosers. So we're gonna do some stuff with his eyes. Like, it's a rubber mask. So if you're a rubber mask, you're limited to like 24, 36 frames before anybody's like, hey, that's a rubber fucking mask. But now in the days of digital effects and Deadpool and Spider-Man Homecoming, you can put life into those eyes, with those very dead eyes. So we're going to do a bit of that in post, or Andy is. I'm not good on this.
Movie magic.
A little bit of movie magic.
Cool.
But it's been a blast, man. I thank the good folks of the area for letting us be here. We shot in a community last night where either nobody's fucking here, or they were insanely polite, because we were out there until 5 a.m. with lights blasting on a house, people yelling, and not just on camera, but like cut, rolling, all that shit. And people were super sweet about it. Nobody called the cops or
There must
anything.
be a lot of Lunesta users in that neighborhood.
Yeah, wow, like a light. Well, like
That
a
was-
range, yeah.
This is great. Thank you
Yeah.
very
And
much.
I did bring you something.
What is it?
I would have put Kevin on it had I had more time, but it's from a local company here in Sarasota. Service tumbler. It will keep your drinks cold and it will keep your drinks hot. And that's me on there.
I got you as a cup. That's tremendous. Aside from the dirty joke, I'll always have this. And people are like, who is that? I'll be like, she told me the filthiest fucking joke once.
Yeah.
I'm chewing my gum.
You're my bubble gum. Yay. Yes, and that is for
Thank
you.
you.
It's the best cup ever.
Thank you. Oh my
The
God,
best
you
cup ever.
rock.
We'll need that.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for
Thank
talking
you
to us.
both.
Thanks for making